Greetings, minions, 'tis I, the Flaming Monocle, and I'm here with my very, very good friend T-Dude.
Hello.
And this one's a bit of a tricky one, because T-Dude is about 650 miles away from me at the moment, so we're trying a new setup.
So far away.
So we have a new setup, which could be absolutely dreadful, but I'm hoping it'll be just fine. And in 10 minutes' time, you'll have forgotten all about this.
It's like I'm in the room.
We're playing the 39 Steps again. You remember that fantastic sort of wartime epic, which I've yet to read the book or watch the film or any of the other stuff, but I am looking forward to playing this game.
It's good.
Without further ado...
Yeah.
Yes, it is good. Without further ado, let us continue to part 2, which I believe was called An Unlikely Visit. So, let's hit play. An Unlikely Visit.
Da.
Monday,
I wonder
the
how
18th
unlikely
of May.
it is.
Sorry. Yar. Oh, Wimpole Street.
Wimpole.
Yeah. Wimpole Street. Clippity cloppity clip clop. Okay. Invisible Man.
Well, you know what they say about invisible men.
Invisible gloves. It's going to be one. Oh, the sparkly effects on the window. Yeah, it's going to be one of those puzzles again, is it? Where I have to sort of figure out how to open the door.
Oh God. Oh,
Hey.
ghosts.
Oh,
Can I speak to you? May I come in for a minute?
I recognised him as the occupant of the flat on the top floor, with whom I'd passed that time of day on the stairs. Who I'd passed the time of day on the stairs. Not that time of day. Okay. He was slim, with a short brown beard and small, gimlety blue eyes.
Gimli.
Gimli.
Gimli blue.
Okay, I'm doing that mouse thing where it's got to be this thing. Okay. The scroll wheel was taking forever. His hand was pawing at my arm. Scrolly.
You work that mouse.
Oh, I'm right-clicking again.
Oh.
Oh, lovely.
Oh man.
Okay, we'll
An
skip.
unlikely
We'll skip this bit. See you in a second, guys. If you've just joined us again, I've finally sort of cracked the useless text mechanic of this game. If I click the left mouse button and rotate the mouse, it goes to the next piece of text. So, let's go back to the last one. Just a scroll wheel would be lovely. Anyway,
Yes.
we met that chap in the hallway. He's got a beard.
Who
He's
doesn't?
got small eyes. Oh, exactly. Everyone is bearded. Okay, next piece of text. His hand was pawing at my arm. I motioned him in. Clank.
Plot happened.
It says 3 diamonds at the bottom.
Oh, don't worry. That's that's just your collectible diamonds telling you that the game is happening.
Hang on. The game is happening now. It's like, and now I motioned myself to the door and attempted to unlock it. No sooner was he over the threshold than he made a dash for my back room, where I used to smoke and write my letters.
I thought you were going to say to smoke my letters.
To smoke my letters. Then he bolted back to give them a nice flavour. Okay, so...
Is the door locked?
is the
Yes.
door locked? I don't know.
Something's about to go down.
Well,
as
you know
in-
the story.
As in plot.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because he's approached this man. Of course, you've got to remember, our main character, he's very bored at the moment. Terribly
Oh,
bored.
yeah. So he's looking for something interesting to happen.
Yes.
He filled himself a stiff whiskey and soda and drank it in 3 gulps. Next bit of text.
3 gulps.
is, I sat down in an armchair and lit my pipe. I was pretty certain that I had to deal with a madman.
I'm very sorry. It's a mighty liberty, but you look like the kind of man who would understand. I've had you in my mind all this week when things got troublesome.
Troublesome.
Say, will you do me a good turn?
I'll listen to you. That's all
If
I
it means
promise.
turning the mouse, I'm going to
Pardon.
scream.
I'm a bit
Hey,
rattled
do me
tonight.
a good turn.
You see, I happen
Of
at
the
this moment
mouse?
to be dead.
What does it feel like?
A smile flickered over his drawn face. Poorly drawn by a cartoonist.
It's only drawn
I'm not
because it's not
mad.
real.
Yet.
I'm not made.
Say, sir, I've been watching you, and I reckon you're a cool customer. I
Said
reckon,
the
too, you're an
American.
honest man and not afraid of playing a bold hand. I'm gonna confide in you.
Oh.
I need help worse than any man ever needed it. I want to know if I can count you in.
Of course.
okay.
Otherwise, you know, life would be boring.
Yeah. Sod boring. He's made of smoke.
Get on with your yarn and I'll tell
Is
you.
he giving the thumbs up? Yeah.
I get my pipes
Ooh,
from
I got-
Happy Pipes.
Shh, it's movie time.
The Queerest Rigmarole, starring yours truly. Franklin B. Scudder was an American from Kentucky. After college, being pretty well off, he started out to see the world.
Da, 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 da. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Do you know what?
Oh, and a train.
I really love the art design and everything here. It's really
He
good,
later
but the thing
paper
is,
acted as a war correspondent for a Chicago paper.
Tensions in the Near East. Balkan affairs test Europe. The Balkan rage.
He played about with politics at first for interest, then just because he couldn't help himself. Then he made his discovery.
what could it be? Oh, there's that car that you like from the main title.
The Jetsons sort of. Oh, hang on, we need a sort of an oboe solo at this point. God, he just crept behind a tree.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, I must say, like, they've gone for every art style so far, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems to be working for them. I take it everyone at home knows how to read. I mean, I was just contemplating. That's a cool house.
You know as well as anybody that they teach at school now.
Yeah.
The hangmen were financiers who were rich for money. They wanted Russia and Germany at loggerheads.
Or a piper.
This is what a loggerhead looks like. Smash.
Everything would be in the melting pot. These anarchists looked to see a new world emerge, while the capitalists would make fortunes by buying up wreckage. And Scudder had himself convinced the Jewish men were behind it all.
Oh,
Tune in next week.
for a delay in the story.
And fade to black. So you
On the 15th day of June,
Oh,
Constantine Karolides is coming to this city.
Constantine Karolides.
The British Foreign Office has taken to
What a
having
name.
international tea parties,
That is a cool name.
and the biggest of them is due on that date. Now, Karolides is reckoned the principal guest, and if my friends have their way, he will never return to his admiring countrymen.
Oh,
That's a shame.
I sat up for that, for I'd been reading about Karolides that very afternoon.
Well, that's simple enough, anyhow. You can warn him and keep him at home.
And play their game.
Also,
If
he's
he
not
does
that
not come,
bored.
they
Richard
will,
Hannay's not that
for
bored,
he's
is
the
he?
only man that can
Reads
sway
a-
the
he reads a
wind.
lot.
And if his government are warned, he won't come, for he does not know how big the stakes will be on June the 15th.
I was beginning to get interested in the beggar.
What about the British government? They're not going to let their guests be murdered. Tip them the wink, and they'll take extra precautions.
No good. They might stuff your city with plainclothes detectives and double the police. And Constantine would still be a doomed man. He'll be murdered by an Austrian. And there'll be plenty of evidence to show the connivance of the big folk in Vienna and Berlin.
You can murder
yeah.
anyone
Being
if they're
front
made of
alive,
smoke.
course, but the case will look
Indeed.
black enough to the world.
Gosh, this is an interesting
But it's
story.
not going to come off if there's a certain man alive right here in London on the 15th day of June. And that man is going to be your servant, Franklin P. Scudder.
Yeah. Collected Scudder. Okay.
I think it says quite a lot, really, that we're not making as much fun of the dialogue and characters in this story than we are of 3 Stars of Destiny.
I think mainly because Koryul just goes, I want to drink a beer and hit things. And this guy's like, oh, well, there's obviously movement on the Russian front, and it's going to be a little bit more...
Real world things are happening!
I was getting to like the little chap. His jaw had shut like a rat trap, and there was the fire of battle in his gimlety eyes. I'm going to look that word up.
Gimlet. Yeah. I'm surprised there isn't a sort of a stop-and-click dictionary in a game like this, considering it's sort of... This game's funded by, like, the Scottish Observer and stuff.
I completed my evidence 10 days ago in Paris. I can't tell you the details now, for it's something of a history. But when I was quite sure in my own mind, I judged it my business to disappear. And I reached this city by a mighty queer circuit. So yesterday I thought I had muddied my trail some, and was feeling pretty happy. Then...
The recollection seemed to upset him, and he gulped down some more whiskey.
Then I saw a man standing in the street outside this block. I used to stay close in my room all day, and only slip out after dark for an hour or two. I watched him for a bit from my window, and I thought I recognized him.
Gosh.
He came in and spoke to the porter.
Is this just a really cheap way of making a film without any actors?
My letterbox.
Possibly, although, you know, everything has to be drawn still.
Everything's arbitrary. I've not had to actually do... I mean, I know it's an interactive story, but the interactions are mainly just clicking through text. I think the look in my companion's eyes, the sheer naked scare on his face, completed my conviction of his honesty.
What did you do next?
I realized I was modeled as sure as a pickled herring.
I mean...
And that there was only one way
I was
out.
bored. And he was there.
I downed another whiskey.
And he had to die.
If my pursuers
He's going to be hammered by the time this is done.
How did you manage it?
How many whiskeys can you drink? Oh. How Scudder died. Oh, step 1.
Before you're sitting in
I told the man who valenced me that I was feeling pretty bad and got myself up to look like death. That wasn't difficult, for I'm no slouch at disguises. Step 1. Convince Porter. Illness requires disguise makeup. Clay. Too much? R.I.P. John? I've run out of clay. This is good. Where to find the corpse? Graveyard. Highgate Cemetery. Transport. Stairs. So helpful. Cabby equals carriage. Then I got a corpse. You can always get a body in London if you know where to go for it. I fetched it back in a trunk on top of a 4-wheeler, and I had to be assisted upstairs to my room.
Because I was hammered on whiskey.
There will be an inquest. Need to supply evidence. Feign death? Sleeping draught? Who to administer? I had to pile up evidence for the inquest, so I went to bed and got my man to mix me a sleeping draught. Then I got home. Then I told him to clear out. He wanted to fetch me a doctor, but I swore some, and I said I couldn't abide leeches.
Well, you know, because it's top. You know, it's the NHS here. You've got quality leeches.
His jaw is a problem. My options are limited. A gun? Neighbours. Not a great deal of choice. We'll make one loud bang.
Is this the scribblings of a child or a madman or both?
When I was left alone, I started to fake up that corpse. He was my size, and I judged he had perished from too much alcohol, so I put some spirits about the place. The jaw was the weak point in the likeness, so I blew it away with a revolver. I dare say there will be somebody to swear having heard a shot, but I don't think there are any neighbours on my floor, and I guessed I could risk it.
This guy's okay with anything. I wouldn't do something like this.
Final checklist. Dress, body, place revolver, change, leave no trace, he said, writing it down on paper. I left the body in bed dressed up in my pyjamas with a revolver lying on the bedclothes and a considerable mess around. Then I got into a suit of clothes I'd kept waiting for emergencies. I didn't dare shave for fear of leaving tracks, and besides, it wasn't any kind of use trying to it wasn't any kind of use brain, start reading properly. It wasn't any kind of use my trying to get into the streets. Huzzah! I meant to thing.
I then wore his skin as a face.
I was all right with this. Ooh. Not
Oh,
safe for work.
bloody hell.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He's making that thumbs up sign again.
I had had you in my mind all day, and received nothing to do but to make an appeal to you.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
watched from my window till I saw you come home, and then slipped down the stair to meet you.
I see. He sat blinking like an owl, fluttering with nerves and desperately determined.
There, sir.
Oh.
I guess you know about as much as me in this
Quietly.
business.
His head rotating 180 degrees. No,
Eating a small mouse. Oh, God. Pour a drink.
oh my goodness.
Up.
Curiously, he stood in front of me. He sat in front of me, picked up a glass, picked up the whiskey,
Drew the
And-
word far in the air.
and I think they're immune to alcohol. So no.
Son of a bitch. Oops. Okay,
Is this a drunk?
Pour
A
whiskey.
drunk sim. This is a drunk simulator. That does it? Does the controls
is.
don't work, and there's a lot of ghosts around.
I was now pretty well convinced that he was going straight with me. It was the wildest sort of narrative, but I had heard in my time many steep tales which had turned out to be true. And if he'd wanted to get a location in my flat, then cut my throat, he would have pitched a milder yarn. I get the feeling there's just so many early 90s references going on. Early 1900s references going on.
Early 90s.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally rad.
Hand
Cool
me your
dude.
key, and I'll take a look at the corpse. Excuse my caution, but I'm bound to verify a bit if I can.
I reckon you asked for that,
He's making a thumbs up sign.
but I haven't got it.
Cool, dude.
It's on my chain on the dressing table. I had to leave it behind, for I couldn't leave any clues to breed suspicions. The gentry who are after me are
I
pretty
feel bad
bright-eyed
taking the piss
citizens.
out of this game because the dialogue's really good.
You'll
Yeah,
have to
I
take
know,
no
that's the
trust for
thing, I don't
night, and tomorrow you'll get the proof of the
You don't want
corpse
to talk
business
over a
right
moving
enough.
book, even if I'm doing that right now.
It's okay, because people can read it, and then they can press stop in their browser and go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
I thought for an instant, or two,
Thing
Right.
is, right?
I'll trust you for the night.
Like,
I'll lock you into
this
this
is such
room
a
and
good
keep the
story.
key.
I feel sorry for anyone
Just
that's
one word,
experiencing
Mr.
the
Scott.
39 steps via
I
this
believe
video.
you're straight.
I know, I hope
if
you've all
so
had
be
some
you are
sort
not,
of introduction to the
I
story.
should warn you.
Mind you,
I'm
this
a
is my
handy man
introduction to the
with a gun.
story, so I dare say they're going to be
having the
feeling like
privilege of
me.
your name,
Oh, but you're
sir.
experiencing
Let
it.
me tell you that
I'm
you're
just
a
sorry
true
you're
gentleman.
experiencing it with me.
Now, thank you to lend me a razor.
He said, trying to pour a whiskey again.
By writing the word arse.
I took him into my bedroom and turned him loose.
Oh.
I didn't know this was in the game.
This is an
I have to put
extended
an
version of the
18
story.
rating. The director's cut. In half an hour's time, a figure came out that I scarcely recognised.
Michael Jackson in his
My
early
hat,
years.
Mr. Scudder.
You probably didn't recognise him
knew
because you're
that.
made of vapour. Was this achievement
Similarities.
unlocked? Oh no. Okay.
Only his gimlety, hungry eyes were the same.
They keep on using that word.
You've got a computer over there. You look it up whilst I'm reading.
Gimlety.
Yes, Gimlety. He was the very model of a modern major general. No, he was the very model, even to the brown complexion, of some British officer who had a long spell in India. He was shaved clean, his hair was parted in the middle, and he cut his eyebrows. Oh. Is it that bad in India?
Gimlety. Would you like to... adjective. Piercing.
Okay.
Sharp-sighted.
Oh. Kind
Looks,
of gives
Mr.
me a
Scudder.
new outlook on
Captain
the character
Theophilus Digby of
in
the
Lord
Folly
of
of
the Rings.
Gurkhas, presently home on leave. I'll thank you to remember that, sir.
I'm sharp-sighted.
Yeah, you're gonna have to trust me. I made him a bed in the smoking room and sought my own couch. Go seek your couch. More that's an insult. That's a good one.
Seek thy own couch.
Go and seek thy own couch. More cheerful than I'd been for the past month. Things did happen occasionally, even in this God-forgotten metropolis. It's London.
It may be God-forgotten, but it's certainly not boring.
And that would be the end of the chapter.
Yes.
I think we'll leave it there and continue on to the next one. The next time that we play the 39 Steps with my very good friend T-Dude.
Wonderful.
Indeed. I've been the Flaming Monocle. I do hope you'll join us next time. Anything you'd like to add before we finish this one up?
Only that, like, you know, it's nice to be back with a considerable amount of whiskey.
Cool. Cheerio, everybody.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.